color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Most of us blacks, or Negroes as he called us, really thought we were free without being aware that in our subconscious, all those chains we thought had been struck off were still there. And there were many ways where what really motivated us was our desire to be loved by the white man. Malcolm meant to lance that sense of inferiority. He knew it would be painful. He knew that people could kill you because of it, but he dared to take that risk.
He was saying something over and above that of any other leader of that day, while the other leaders were begging for entry into the house of their oppressor. He was telling you to build your own house.
Yo, 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 yo. It's Thursday night. We're a little late. I may have to adjust this time eventually because since I opened my own business and I'm the boss, been getting in a little later. May have to just move the time to 7:45 just to not be in so much of a rush and maybe overlook and not put the full value into the show. Plus, I aggravated my sciatic nerve today, so I'm going to try to sit here and deliver. So peace and blessings to everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Miss you. Got my new Kenyan beads on. Went to the African Festival this weekend here in Chicago for the people that aren't in Chicago. I go every year. I don't know about next year. They just kind of, it's a shame how the prices keep going up on our events, but the entertainment and the food and everything is going up. $20 for a plate of bones and rice is not my idea of a good time. And when the white folks have an event, it's free and the food is half the cost. Which brings us to the idea of, before I forget, look what else I got. I got me a nice cane. This is nice. This is nice. Nice walking stick. I be picking up stuff, trying to support the African business as well as the black business. That's what we have to continue to do. Brought this bracelet. The young lady was selling bracelets for $10 to support her college fund. And we wanted to support that. So sometimes you got to spend a little money with your people, even if you feel it's too much, to support them in their endeavors and what they're trying to do. The show tonight is called The Generational Divide. How do we come together? And this is kind of prompted today on the Maze Jackson show. Miss Dorothy Tillman was on there, and I grew up around Miss Dorothy here in Chicago. And her and Maze were having this back and forth about the movement and how are the millennials now mindset compared to the generation before, and how do we get to this big divide point? So one of my things was, and this is how I like to explain it. Prior to 1964, black people really didn't have a lot of rights that white people legally had to respect. So it wasn't until 64 where they had an opportunity to have a different mindset. So prior to 64, the militancy in America was not on such a high level because the lynchings were still going on. The open killings were still going on. And they were still going on after 64. But now there was legal documentation on the books. Now, even though there was legal documentation on the books, there was no change in mindset. You have to understand when the slave was conditioned, the slave was conditioned to believe everything the master said was right. He didn't question the master. Everything he saw that the master had was far superior to what he had. So the first thing out of slavery he learns to strive for is what the master has. The master has a house. I should have a house. The master has this. I should have this. I should have this. I should have this. And then you teach your kids, act like the master, do what the master does, and that will be considered success. So for years and decades, and I can't say our ancestors were wrong because that's what they knew, that's what they were taught, so that's what they taught us. They taught us about surviving in a white world because that's what their parents had taught them. Survival in a white world. The important thing in this white society is to get your education and go and work for them. The American dream is not a black American dream. It was a white American dream. So what we were taught, what we're teaching, and what does the future look like for black people? Are black people still in a state that they are afraid to speak up for fear of losing that American dream? We inherited a lot of stuff from slavery. We inherited the struggle. We inherited the mental abuse and the mental chains and shackles that poison us, and then we self-poison our children and put them in the same position of hopelessness. And that wasn't everybody, because a lot of people did go ahead and go along with the master, and the master said, you're a good nigger, and here's your reward for being a good nigger. You're still not over here with me, but you're over there, and you're doing good. There wasn't a lot of speaking things into existence. We were so busy with boycotts and everything else as America grew, and we got more pushed out of, because right after 64, when we got the Civil Rights Bill in 65, they come up with this whole minority bill that embraces, it was like an immigration bill. So then all those privileges that you got your butt whooped for and water hose and beat down for, let's share those with all the immigrants. Let's be fair. We've talked about this before. It says, so let's be fair. Let's open up the borders to everybody. Flood it where now the blacks have to compete with the immigrants also. We're not going to compete with the immigrants because we're the ones writing the rules and everything. This is the game that we don't teach our children. This is a game that was set for you to lose. And we're not talking about individuals winning, because you have to define what is winning to you. I talk to so many black people that are so obsessed with money, and I understand the obsession, because most of us have never really had money or lived on a level that said, this is living, I'm not struggling. I haven't really struggled in years, but I know what struggling is. I know what it is to sit on the edge of my bed with a house full of kids, and all we got is ketchup and carrots, and that's dinner. So I haven't forgot what the struggle looks like. I forgot what it takes for an individual to go out here and do what they have to do to become an individual success. A lot of times that individual success doesn't translate down to the others that have not been successful. We have all this success with the athletes and all this money, but what is their responsibility to their people? I'm glad to see LeBron doing the school thing and Oprah and all that. We need all the ones that have that opportunity. To who much is given, much is expected. So we have to have that mindset, and I think we would have more with that mindset if that's what we were teaching. If we weren't teaching just escape from the ghetto, reach back, help your brothers and sisters. Don't let people make you feel bad because your agenda is just not to earn a living, but your agenda is to make a difference. I think Denzel or someone said that. He said, don't aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. Don't beat people down over the head because they haven't obtained the level of success that you have obtained. However, we're framing success in this conversation. Most of the time we're talking about success that we went to school, got a degree, and went and got a job in a white man's company and helped him build his legacy. We call that success. Totally wrong definition for us. Because our people suffer. And then somehow they use that as a tool, just like in the Willie Lynch letter. Anything black people can be divided over will be divided over. We disrespect our elders. We disrespect ourselves. Just a whole list of behaviors that we have to be accountable for and stand up for. And we can't be so blinded. We got to get over our selfish behavior, because the most selfish thing you can do is to help others. I ain't helping that nigga. He got to get over. He got to do what he got to do, just like I did what I had to do. A lot of us lack discipline. And not only do we lack discipline, we lack consistency. And that consistency could be, I'm going to get up every morning at 5 o'clock and meditate or pray or yoga or whatever. I'm going to start my day early. I'm going to apply myself. I'm going to pray for my family. I'm going to get out here and do all the positive things I can do with my life so I can be a productive person in my neighborhood. A lot of people don't wake up with that mindset. A lot of people wake up with a fearful mindset. It's just the day I'm going to get killed because I'm out here doing this dirt, but I don't know anything else to do, and the system got me locked in this way, and you don't understand my struggle because I'm a felon and I can't do anything. We got to develop a way for our brothers. I was talking to a brother the other day. He gave me his card. Definitely going to reach out to him, Brother Muhammad. And I was telling him about a program that we want to start for the seniors, because truly in the black neighborhood, we forgot our seniors. They have become prisoners in their homes because of the conditions of the neighborhoods. So we got to find a way to free the seniors. And my idea was to work with a few social agencies and hopefully develop a program that maybe once a week for an hour and a half, I can do some computer classes for the seniors. Now, I'm asking the community center and things if they have the space or if they have donated computers. I'm asking all this. I've been to the Black United Fund. I've been to the Project Promise, the South Shore Chambers of Commerce, the My Brother's Keeper, the Nash Center, because I'm serious about this. But I don't have the money to pull out my pocket to do that. But you black folks are working for these government agencies, and you tell me about these programs where I can get this. Why don't you get it for me? Why don't you get it for us? Why don't we have a group environment thing where all the agencies are supposed to work together for the good of the community? Why don't we come out of those offices and come down onto the streets and tell some brothers and sisters, we got this program going on. We got this free GED program going on right here, right in your neighborhood. There's a center right from where I opened my store, the Henry L. English Center. They just put a sign up because before they didn't have a sign. And I had asked a few people, did they know what went on in this building? They said, no, I've been walking past that building for years. I had been there for 3 days. It just seemed like I should go into that building because it had pictures of black icons on the side of it. So I went over and I found out what they do in there. I introduced myself, and I introduced myself to all the businesses. Gone are the days where we figure, let's just open the store for ourselves and that's it, and we'll stay closed off. That's not the way the communities exist. That's not the way they function, and that's not the way they grow. So we haven't been trained in that because we've been taught a selfish behavior. Look out for yourself. Screw these other niggas. You doing what you doing. Hating on other people. I'm not hating on you. You great. Whatever you got going. Then we have to learn how to respect the businesses. I had one person, they were like, well, can you come over here and work on my computer? No, you have to be like everybody else. This is a business. You have to come bring your computer to the business like everybody else, just like if you're going to Geek Squad, anybody else. I have to respect the way others do their business, and I have to respect the way I do my business. Had another thing, I was told that this lot next to where our stores are located offered parking for businesses. So I said, okay, cool. Then I'll park here too. But then I came out and Jose or whatever, I think she said his name was Jose, had put a tow sign on my car. So I go and talk to the sister that's in charge of the program. And I said, I thought this was a courtesy. I apologize. Hey, I won't park in this lot because you're telling me it's not. Now, I didn't crap on anybody else because everybody else still put their cars there and they didn't get a ticket. They didn't get a sign. I just took it as, I said, well, your name was on the car, sister. So I came down here to introduce myself because I've been introducing myself to everybody else. So I had to change that view and go in and try to make it a positive thing. Now, maybe she'll come back down the line and say, you can't park in that lot. But until that day happens, guess what? No discounts for you, sister. Power to the people. So it's the way we interact with each other. And do we have a future dream together? And I see, like the mayor's race is coming up now. Rahm Emanuel has dropped out. This was a big thing for everybody. Now everybody is putting their teams together and going to be pushing their candidates. And the black folks don't have a candidate. And it seems like we never have a candidate because we focus on the wrong things. Everybody right now is focusing on Nike and Kaepernick. I'm still not watching the football. I know today starts the football season and everybody's got their foam fingers and jerseys and all that and continue to support an institution that has blatantly showed you that they don't give a F about you and your protests and what you think you need, and allowed a president to twist what this was about and make it about the American flag. and disrespecting the American flag, which is really not. But that flag is probably the most disrespectful thing that we've seen since we hit the shores of this country. It is disrespectful to us. And so, if you want people to kneel and praise it, then this country has to be praiseworthy. But it was hijacked, and the owners did that little fake display just to get the players to go. And the difference between black folks and white folks, like I always say, white folks aren't afraid to shut it down. They'll shut it down. We ain't got the balls to shut it down. You know why? Because when we get money, $20, $30 million, we go and buy a $20, $30 million house. We try to take care of everybody. We don't invest correctly. So you never had the power to stand up. Psh, I wish I would have $20 million in the bank, and then this dude telling me don't kneel. Right. We can't save everybody, but we got to have plans. That's why I like LeBron brought his people up, paid for them to go to school, developed that team, stuck with that team, and they roll together and they ride together and they're making moves. Jay-Z now, sometimes you got to work outside of the system because the system is designed for you to fail. So most of the time, in order to get what you need, you're going to have to step outside the system. This is one of the motivations for me to open my store, because I've been talking about this store forever now. I have been working out of my basement for years and not taking that plunge. I think we all are so attached to that dream that we were given by our parents. And like I said, it's not a knock on our parents. That's what they believe was right. So with this new millennial mindset, we see a lot of protesting for nothing because you don't have an agenda of what you want it to look like in the bottom, and you don't want to talk to the elders. You can't discount the elders because the elders are the ones that did everything so you could have this opportunity to protest and say what you want and everything. And that's the part with the millennials that I don't get, especially when a lot of your parents are still paying for your education. We never want to be disrespectful to the elders, even if we didn't agree with them. A lot of people did not agree with the actions of Martin Luther King and the Southern Conference Committee. A lot of people, King had very little support by the time he was assassinated in 1968. Had barely any money. Belafonte and others really put a lot of money in to support the mission that was at hand. Malcolm X didn't really have any money. This is what real sacrifice looks like. Sometimes if you're going to sacrifice, and people don't sacrifice like that, they don't sacrifice their families and well-being anymore for a mission for black people. Somewhere along the line, we got confused that if we just stop right here, then this is enough being done. And that's where somebody fell asleep at the wheel, or we all fell asleep at the wheel, because Maya Angelou said that too. She said, we thought cause now we could send our children to Yale or Harvard or Stanford, that this would erase the mentality and the nature of the moral monsters that we were dealing with in this country. And it didn't. Yes, we had a black president, but he wasn't a president of the black people. He was a president that they molded and selected, and he did their bidding. Yes, we were all happy to see this because we were always told, you're never going to see a black president. I remember hearing that time and time again. So to see a black president, that was a victory, but that's as far as it went. We won one race. Then we won the second race, but what did you get? You got Donald Trump. So you got a whole nother person. And I had a clip, and that's what I mean by running late. There was a clip from Malcolm in 1964 talking about this guy Goldwater. He was a senator or something trying to run for president. And the whole premise was that he was going to come in here and behave just like Donald Trump behaves. He's going to start a war. He's going to mess up the economy and all that. But they wanted that because they needed in politics. Sometimes they use fear. Oftentimes they use fear to convince you what's best for you. Because fearful people stay in line. It's the ones that decide to be outside the box that they have to look at. What's he doing over there? Is he outside the box? Negro, you're outside the box. You have to get back inside the box. So we've been boxed in for all these years, and we've accepted it as a normal behavior. And I tell people, I say it's hard because it's a mental challenge. So I've been in my business like officially open 1 week. I was in there a couple other weeks prior to, getting it together, fixing up the place, putting shelves, all that, putting everything in it. And of course, we would love if we opened a business to have 10 million customers. But, I've had 10 paying customers, probably another 10 that's just wanted some information. But I've yet to see a friend bring their computer to my store and say, hey, look at my computer. That's what I'm talking about. We have to support our brothers and sisters. And I tell everybody, I say, hey, if you got a business, I make sure I come in there at least once and spend some money with you. That's what I do. That's how you make your friend's business successful. So, we stay faithful and hopeful over that. And I'm sure it's going to take off because what I do in the computer industry is, as far as repairs, it doesn't exist in the neighborhood. You can go 15, 20 blocks any direction from the location of my store, and it's a desert of technology. But it's only going to be a desert for so long because it's also adjacent to the home of the new Obama Library and the new golf course where Obama and Tiger Woods are tapping together to recreate that. So it's the South Shore area, and within 5 years it's going to really pick up because there's a U.S. Bank down there on the corner. There's a Starbucks. There's a nursery school. It's right along the Metro line. The address is 1741 East 71st Street. It's going to be great. It's going to be okay. We're going to make money, and then we're going to look for other businesses and other opportunities to help in the neighborhood. But I just, I'm always thinking of what can we give the children as a means of escape. What master plan can we start giving our children other than what was given to us? And I just came up with a few things of we had to teach our kids to speak their dreams into existence. Nobody has to believe in your dream except you. You're the architect of that dream. So if you don't believe in it, how can anybody else believe in it? I had a few people came back just to see the store because I've been talking about it for years. And they said, I just had to see it. You've been talking about it for years. We've been waiting, and now it's here. It's beautiful. We have to teach our kids to fail big. Just don't keep failing small. Failing big means you went all the way out. You took a chance, a professional chance. Take a chance professionally on what you're trying to do. Develop a plan, make it bigger than what you think it can be, and then go after it. Think outside the box. Don't be hindered by negative people. Dreams without goals are just dreams. Don't get caught up in, often we send our kids off to college and then they're introduced to the white world on a different level. And then they meet the liberal whites who are friends to the Negroes. But that's just like the fox. He comes in all smiling and bumping around. He doesn't look very intimidating. But once he gets inside the flock, boom, he attacks. That's how it happens with a lot of liberals. And nobody's saying all white folks are this way. But a lot of them have been conditioned. And we did a show about that. It's called The Conditioning of America. At the same time we were being conditioned, they were being conditioned. And they were being conditioned to overlook a lot of bad behavior. Prime example of the job I've worked on, and it's just been a hot mess of craziness with the HR department. And they're like, well, so and so. I said, no. We're at a point you have bad behavior. You don't address the behavior. It only affects me. It's not right. I'm tired of people hiding the bodies, and you all co-signing on it. Well, I don't see. I mean, this looks great. I mean, what's the problem? That's how they are. What's the problem? I don't see. If you just continue to do what this white man has told you, he gave you a job. I mean, so he's supposed to hire his friends and bring his friends in and fuck you over, and you're supposed to accept it. Why are you not coming into work? What is the problem? We're treating you right, nigga. That's what we deal with. And we deal with it because we haven't made up in our minds as a group, like all these other groups, the Chinese and the Italians and everybody that have their own neighborhoods and have their things set up the way they want it. But black people, what Mr. Chan said, he said black people are the only people who fight to stay under their oppressor. And now we all so happy because Nike is coming out with the whole Kaepernick thing. I'm glad Kaepernick got his money, but that's some bullshit. They just found a way to capitalize on what they were already doing. They didn't come out when he first started doing it. They didn't jump out then. But now they look at it as an opportunity to take advantage of black folks who are going to run out and buy the Nike shoes. I don't buy Nikes. I got on a pair of Nikes, but I didn't buy them. I haven't bought Nikes forever. I wear my New Balance. Everybody's been laughing at me for the New Balance that I've been wearing for years because of what the Nike Corporation did. Even during the Michael Jordan days, I didn't buy Nikes. But we forgive Nike. We forgive Denny's. I haven't been to Denny's in years. I don't eat Dunkin' Donuts. Just all types of little personal things I do because I'm in a position to do it. And until all black people get to that position of saying, we're together on this, we're going to boycott this, we're going to do this way, we're going to make our leaders responsible, we're going to be responsible for ourselves and our neighborhoods, and we're going to change the American dream into a black American dream. And on that note, love, peace, soul, you know what we say. We out of here.
If people say your dreams are crazy,
if they laugh at what you think you can do. Good. Stay that way. Because what non-believers fail to understand is that calling a dream crazy is not an insult. It's a compliment. Don't try to be the fastest runner in your school or the fastest in the world. Be the fastest ever. Don't picture yourself wearing OBJ's jersey. Picture OBJ wearing yours. Don't settle for homecoming queen or linebacker. Do both. Lose 120 pounds and become an Ironman after beating a brain tumor. Don't believe you have to be like anybody to be somebody. If you're born a refugee, don't let it stop you from playing soccer for the national team at age 16. Don't become the best basketball player on the planet. Be bigger than basketball. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. When they talk about the greatest team in the history of the sport, make sure it's your team. If you have only one hand, don't just watch football, play it at the highest level. And if you're a girl from Compton, don't just become a tennis player. Become the greatest athlete ever. Yeah, that's more like it. So don't ask if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough.